The news hit Georgetown like a winter storm no one saw coming. It swept through the town with a chill that seemed to freeze time itself, leaving everyone momentarily stunned. It wasn't a rumor, it was a headline on every phone and TV: Toyota to end Lexus ES350 production in Georgetown. The words felt heavy, almost unbelievable, as if the town's heartbeat had skipped. For a town built around the steady hum of the Toyota plant, it felt like the world had tilted. The factory wasn't just a workplace, it was the engine that powered Georgetown's dreams and daily life. People stopped in their tracks, reading the headline again, hoping it was a mistake. Conversations faded, replaced by anxious glances and whispered questions about what would come next. In the break rooms at Toyota, stunned silence replaced the usual chatter. Coffee cups sat untouched, and the air was thick with worry, as if everyone was holding their breath. These weren't just jobs. They were careers, the source of mortgages and college funds. Every paycheck represented a future, a child's education, a family vacation, a home that felt secure. The Lexus line was a point of pride, a symbol of Kentucky's quality and dedication. Building those cars meant more than just assembling parts. It was about craftsmanship, reputation, and community spirit. But the company's statement was clear: this wasn't about performance. It was about cost, trade, and forces beyond their control. Global economics had reached into Georgetown, changing lives with a single decision. The shockwave hit every corner of the community. Diners, auto shops, real estate agents, all felt the knot in their stomachs. The uncertainty spread, touching everyone from business owners to school teachers. The steady flow of Toyota paychecks was Georgetown's lifeblood. Local businesses thrived on that stability, and neighbors supported each other, all connected by the plant's success. As the sun set on that cold January day in 2025, a quiet anxiety settled over the town. The familiar streets seemed different, as if the future had suddenly become a question mark. Families gathered at dinner tables, not with comfort, but with uncertainty. Parents searched for reassuring words, but the silence spoke louder than anything they could say. What would happen to the jobs? Could the town survive this? The questions echoed in every home, every business, every heart. The bedrock had cracked, and no one knew what would be left standing. Georgetown faced an uncertain tomorrow, holding on to hope as the music faded into silence. When Toyota arrived in Georgetown in the 1980s, it wasn't just another company setting up shop. It was the beginning of a partnership that would transform both the town and the automaker. The groundbreaking ceremony marked more than a business deal. It was a handshake between two cultures, two communities, and a shared vision for the future. Before Toyota, Georgetown was a quiet, historic community, known for its charming main street and close-knit neighborhoods. Life moved at a gentle pace, and the town's identity was rooted in its past. The announcement of Toyota's new plant sent a wave of excitement through the region. Suddenly, there was hope for thousands of well-paying jobs, a secure future, and new opportunities for families who had lived in Georgetown for generations. Toyota didn't just bring jobs, they invested in people, schools, and community projects. They sponsored local events, supported education, and became woven into the fabric of Kentucky life, earning trust and respect. Over the years, generations of Kentuckians found their footing on the assembly line. Fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, all turned what started as jobs into lifelong careers, building a legacy together. The relationship was truly symbiotic. Toyota provided stable employment and opportunity, while Georgetown offered a dedicated, hard-working workforce that took pride in their craft. The plant quickly became a source of immense pride. Workers celebrated each car that rolled off the line, knowing they were building some of the best vehicles in the world, right in their own backyard. The Camry became America's best-selling car, and the addition of the Lexus ES350 line was seen as a crowning achievement, a symbol of Georgetown's skill and Toyota's trust in the community. For workers, the Made in Georgetown sticker wasn't just a label, it was a badge of honor, a testament to their craftsmanship and commitment. The plant's impact rippled far beyond its gates. Local suppliers, construction crews, restaurants, and small businesses all thrived, fueled by the steady heartbeat of Toyota's presence. For nearly 40 years, that engine ran smoothly, powering not just cars, but the dreams and livelihoods of an entire region. That's why the Lexus shutdown felt so personal, a breach of trust in a partnership that had weathered decades. It was more than a business decision. It was a loss felt deeply by everyone connected to the plant. Georgetown had built its life, its identity, and its future around the plant's promise. Families grew up with Toyota as a constant presence, shaping their hopes and ambitions. The shutdown was a cold reminder that in the world of global business, loyalty and hard work aren't always enough to guarantee security. For Georgetown, it marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter of resilience. The Lexus shutdown wasn't an isolated decision. It was the result of a global economic storm, brewing for years and finally making landfall in the heart of America's manufacturing belt. America First trade policies imposed heavy tariffs on imported goods, aiming to boost U.S. manufacturing and protect American jobs from foreign competition. But modern manufacturing is global. Every car, every part, is the product of a vast, interconnected supply chain that stretches across continents and oceans. A Lexus ES 350 is assembled in Kentucky, but its parts come from all over the world: Japan, Canada, Mexico, and beyond. Each bolt and circuit tells a story of international cooperation. Tariffs made importing those parts much more expensive, driving up costs at every step of the process and squeezing profit margins tighter than ever before. The cost of building a Lexus in Kentucky soared, even though Toyota had invested billions in American jobs, training local workers, and supporting the community for decades. Tariffs meant to punish foreign competitors ended up hurting American workers and companies like Toyota, forcing layoffs and creating uncertainty for thousands of families. The taxes on imported steel, aluminum, and car parts raised costs on every Lexus built in Georgetown, making it harder to compete in a tough global market. Toyota was caught between its commitment to American workers and the harsh reality of the bottom line, facing tough decisions no company wants to make. The company absorbed the costs as long as it could, hoping for change. But each month, the financial pressure mounted and the outlook grew more uncertain. But as the trade war dragged on, a difficult choice became inevitable. The hope for relief faded, replaced by the reality of tough cuts and painful announcements. The storm had reached Georgetown, and the factory was in its path, threatening not just jobs, but the fabric of the local community. The global economy's ripple effects had landed squarely on Kentucky's doorstep, reminding everyone that decisions made oceans away can change lives right here at home. Toyota's decision was a matter of dollars and cents, not worker performance. Georgetown's workforce was among the best in Toyota's global system, but tariffs on Japanese parts made each Lexus far more expensive to build in Kentucky than in Japan. The supply chain, once an asset, became a liability. It became cheaper to build the car in Japan and ship it to the US, even with import taxes. The goal of the tariffs was to encourage US manufacturing, but here, it did the opposite. Toyota had to lose money on every car or move production. The company's official statement spoke of optimizing global production. But for workers, the message was clear. Their jobs were casualties of a trade war they didn't start. The shutdown was a painful lesson. Success depends on more than hard work. It also depends on stable, sensible trade policies. The Lexus shutdown wasn't just a business decision, it was a personal tragedy for thousands. Many workers had spent decades at Toyota, planning their futures around a stable job. Suddenly, that future was gone. The loss was more than a paycheck, it was a loss of identity and purpose. The impact rippled through families' college dreams, mortgages, retirements, all thrown into doubt. Small businesses felt it too: diners, auto shops, real estate. For every assembly line job lost, several more were threatened in the community. The prosperity was shared, but so was the pain. Georgetown's spirit, once strong, was wounded. The Lexus line had been a symbol of success. Its loss left a void in the town's soul. People questioned the future. Could Georgetown recover? What would replace those jobs? The shutdown was a stark reminder. The fate of a small town can be decided far away. The community was left to pick up the pieces. While Georgetown struggled, a different story unfolded in Huntsville, Alabama. There, Mazda Toyota manufacturing thrived, producing SUVs with a different strategy. The Alabama plant was built with a deeply localized supply chain. Most parts came from American companies, many in the Southeast. This reduced costs, made the supply chain resilient, and avoided the tariffs that crippled Georgetown. Mazda and Toyota invested in local suppliers, creating a ripple of economic growth. The contrast was stark. Georgetown's global supply chain was vulnerable. Alabama's local approach was resilient. The lesson was clear. In the new trade environment, adaptability and local sourcing are key. It's not enough to have a factory in America. You need your suppliers here, too. The future of U.S. manufacturing depends on smart, flexible strategies. The Georgetown shutdown sparked a political firestorm. Former President Trump blamed Toyota, calling it corporate betrayal. He claimed the problem wasn't his policies, but Toyota's greed. Toyota pushed back, pointing to tariffs that made Kentucky production unviable. Supporters of tariffs said Toyota should have found U.S. suppliers. Critics called it a policy failure. Workers were caught in the middle, their livelihoods reduced to talking points. For Georgetown, the blame game was a distraction. They cared about jobs, not politics. While Washington argued, the community faced the real consequences. The political heat offered no solutions for those hurting most. Despite the Lexus shutdown, Toyota insisted it wasn't leaving America. The decision was about one line, not the company's overall strategy. Toyota was investing billions in new plants and retooling for electric vehicles and hybrids. A new battery plant in North Carolina would anchor Toyota's U.S. electrification push. By localizing battery production, Toyota aimed to avoid the supply chain issues that hurt Georgetown. In Kentucky, the plant wasn't closing. Toyota would retool it for a new 3-row electric SUV. Some jobs were lost, but many would be preserved or created. Georgetown would remain vital, but its focus would shift to the future. For workers, it was a time of anxiety and hope. Toyota's message: the past was gone, but they were committed to building a new future in America. The Georgetown story is a lesson for American manufacturing's future. Tariffs meant to protect jobs ended up costing them, showing that simple solutions can have complex consequences. Manufacturing needs stable policies and local supply chains to thrive. The Mazda Toyota model in Alabama proved more durable in the face of trade disputes. Future policy should incentivize domestic supply networks and invest in worker training. As the industry shifts to electric vehicles, retraining is essential. America's greatest asset is a skilled, adaptable workforce. The shutdown is a call to action: support innovation, invest in communities, and commit to workers. The empty Georgetown line is a warning, but new EV investments are a sign of hope. The path forward is learning from loss and building a stronger, more resilient factory floor.